Hello, this is Photography Gamer. Welcome back to the channel. Today I have a review for you. I am reviewing Moon Hunters. Moon Hunters is an action role-playing game developed and published by Kitfox Games. It's reminiscent of retro games like Zelda and Diablo, with a sort of a vibrant and ethereal visual style. So Moon Hunters, it's kind of like an RPG of sorts with a bit of combat. It's very sort of medieval in terms of the setting, and it's kind of like RPG light. It's got all the trappings of it, but it kind of doesn't have the sort of the mega detail. Yeah, it's a simple story about rival tribes. It's got religious and spiritual overtones, and it's kind of like a evolving story every time you play. There isn't one main character in this game. Basically, every time you play the game, you create a new character from a variety of different classes. And this is one of the unique selling points of the game. The game basically lasts about 45 to 60 minutes. You play as your character over a number of days in the game, leading up to a final boss battle. Then, after the battle, that's it, game over, regardless of whether you win the battle or lose the battle. But after you play through, you unlock something, whether it's a new character, a new recipe, or a new star system that unlocks future possibilities in the playthroughs. So it's not like normal games. The game is like Groundhog Day in a way, or it's telling the same story over and over again. Each time it's a little bit different depending on what you do, but essentially it always ends up in the same place. So it's quite different to most other games in this genre. The game plays very smoothly, with the combat being fast and responsive. So there's a lot of heritage in this game, as in it's about creating your own heritage, your own lore for the actual game world, your own history. So you have about 5 days in the game. Each day you visit one area of choice, sometimes two. Then at the end of that day, you can sit by the campfire, cook a meal, stand guard, or many other different things. This is a nice touch as it creates a natural break in the progress, and it gives you a chance to up your stats based on what choice of action you've done. The game is also 4-player couch co-op, and it actually works very well as a multiplayer game, because the fact that it takes under an hour to play through means you and 3 friends can have a full adventure in an hour, and then it's done and dusted and you can just play something else. This is one of the strengths of the game, but it's also one of the biggest weaknesses. The art style is very colourful, very beautiful. It has a really vibrant and soft toned colour palette. The characters and the environments are all well imagined, and it just all looks very, very nice indeed. The sound in this game is excellent, but in particular the music. The soundtrack is fantastic, and it's a standout score for any game, indie or AAA. The music is ethereal, it's dreamy, very earthy in its style. It works really well with the tribal / naturalistic feel to the setting and the kind of religious overtones of the story. The sound effects and the ambient sounds are all nicely done, but it's the music really that stands out in an audio sense. So what's good about the game? The game is beautiful to look at. The controls are responsive and the combat is fast and enjoyable. It's got a great co-op mode, and the music is sensationally good. What's bad? You never really get attached to your character because the game ends within an hour. The combat is good, but it's a little simplistic. It gets very repetitive very quickly. It's not the kind of game you're going to play for hours on end, I'd say. So what is the verdict? Moon Hunters has a lot going for it. There are a lot of things to love about the game, but it's the main premise of the game that lets it down, in my opinion. It feels like a really missed opportunity because all of the gameplay and aesthetics are in place to make this an absolute classic. But the fact that it has a 1-hour loop limitation, that really stunts your enjoyment over a kind of a longer period of time. You never feel attached, you never feel like you've achieved anything specifically, because it all just goes back to the beginning again. It makes you feel like playing it again is a little bit of a pointless exercise. It's a great shame, because if this had a longer narrative where you developed one character over the whole story, I think you'd enjoy it much, much more. But with the limitations of the looping story, you just are left feeling a little empty at the end of it. So who should buy this game? I think if you like simple combat games with a Lord of the Rings vibe that you can play co-op, then you'd enjoy this. I mean, there are some great things in this game, but it's the actual structure of the game that lets it down. So I would recommend it, but understand that it's pretty short and limited in terms of gameplay. But maybe for multiplayer, this is a good one to pick up for your collection. Okay, so what is the final verdict? Moon Hunters is a game with massive potential that is sadly unfulfilled. Despite that, it's still enjoyable, albeit in a very limited way. My score for Moon Hunters is 6 out of 10. It's a good game, but it could have been a great game. It just tries to do something innovative, which is admirable, but it doesn't really add to the enjoyment. It kind of limits the game in a way. Okay, that was the review for Moon Hunters. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, click on the bell if you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful day. All the best. This is Photography Gamer signing off. Thank you.